Hey everybody, welcome back to Journey to a Million. Just a quick recap from the previous video. We had talked about how there was potentially a falling three method pattern developing here as of Thursday, and then Friday we got Powell's speech from Jackson Hole, and the S&P 500 down 3.37, 3.36%. Can't remember what it was, but it's down quite a bit in a big way. So that played out. Right now, we are at almost 4,000 on the S&P 500. So in this video, we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing going into Monday. So this is S&P 500. Let's talk a little bit about the NASDAQ. Okay, so here's the NASDAQ. As you can see, it had broken out prior to even the last few days, the resistance here, and it could have been the start of maybe a longer run here, but there was a bit of a rising wedge here, and at the time it was a bit more of a declining slope on the RSI, which is generally bearish, but nonetheless it played out. It went back down below the resistance line or the support line at the time, and then it peaked out on Thursday just above that. So going into our trades, it was a bit more of an elevated risk, but on Friday after Powell's speech, it played out in a big way as well. From a NASDAQ perspective, it was down over 4%. And so we'll talk a little bit about the VIX as well before we move into an update on the trades. Okay, so here's the VIX, and as of Friday, because of the speech that Powell had given, seemed to have caught a lot of traders and investors off guard. So going in, we closed on support here on Thursday, and it touched that line during the trading day right here on Friday, but then it was just a huge move. It was over 17% move. It's closed above the 50-day, which I think in the next following days, maybe weeks, we're going to be in for some elevated volatility here. So let's talk a little bit about the DXY and what we think the movement there is, because there's a lot of the market movement is going to be dependent on what the dollar does. So let's hop over to that chart. Okay, so here's the Dixie, and so you can see basically as of let's see, May last year, the dollar started to increase, and it's been increasing since. It's been in this incline wedge pattern for the better part of over 12 months now. And it's been respecting these lines of support and resistance most of the way until maybe more recently. Looked like it might have been forming a new pattern, having broken out of this resistance line, but it didn't last very long. It kind of broke back under, and then it's bounced off this support line here, and then it broke up above. And as of Friday, it closed just above that resistance line. And Thursday actually was right at resistance. Well, it closed below it, but it did test that level, and then on Friday it closed above. So there could be some room here for the dollar to continue running. Part of what I'm thinking is here is, given the RSI, we're seeing a bit of a negative divergence that's building here. And so you see higher highs being made on the Dixie, but you see lower lows on the RSI. So it could run for a little while. I would expect that this line here to hold as the dollar increases, which will put pressure on the markets, which supports the thesis of, at least in the near term, that we'll see more pressure on the markets. And then later on, at some point, we'll probably see the dollar reverse. I thought it might have been here, but that wasn't going to play that well. Didn't end up playing out. So we'll see in the coming days, but I think there could be some room here for the dollar to go on. So let's talk a bit about the positioning that we had on Friday, and then what we're looking at for the Monday trading day and the rest of the week. Okay, so this is the Apple daily chart, and you can see on Friday there was a huge move down, and our pattern did play out, and it closed actually just a little bit below 23.6 on the fib retracement there, and below that is a support level, but it's not a particularly strong one. If we switch the line chart here. There's a reaction here, reaction here, reaction here, but it's not particularly a strong one. It doesn't date back a lot in the history there. So it may just slice right through that resistance, support level, and continue on the way down. It will probably react off one of these ones here before we see a bit of a rally before hitting the 50-day. It'll probably react off of that. It's been a bit of a moving average that it does react to here. So, but we are quite a ways from it, and I have some puts that are expiring at the end of next week, so we're going to look to sell those early in the week. But in terms of the positions that we did have going in Friday, that was 162% return on the money that we had committed to this trade, which is not bad at all to be making that in one day. And I actually picked up some more puts on Friday as well, but that is in another account actually. It's not really the money that we have committed to Journey to a Million. But I just wanted to put it out there that I did pick up some more puts that I don't intend to hold on for very long, but it's just to sort of add to this move and sort of benefit from it. So let's move on to the QQQ. Okay, so here are the Qs. Very similar in terms of price action, actually. We also saw a significant drawdown on Friday, and it's not really at support at this point, so I think there's a little bit more ways down. Similar to Apple, there are some levels here that could act as support, but it's a lot closer to the 50-day moving average, so I don't know that the Qs will have much room to adjust. Apple's been on some ridiculous run for the last little while, so we might see a reaction here early next week, and we might get a bit of a bounce. But in the longer term, and by longer term I don't mean years here, I do see this moving down past the 50-day. So there is some room to further correct here. In terms of our trade that we had committed to on Friday, the Qs actually returned a better result. It was over 200% return on the money that we had committed. And in fact, on Friday, similar to Apple, I had picked up some more puts just to add some more torque in the very short term. So I don't really intend to hold on to those for very long either. But I do anticipate at least another day of selling on Monday. So just looking to benefit from that. I should also mention that in the other accounts that I have, I've added to inverse ETFs, VIX ETFs that benefit from the VIX spiking as well. So in terms of the money that's just committed to the Journey to a Million, it's just holding on to those positions and probably looking to sell some of the options expiring end of next week as well for the Qs. So in essence, I'm holding on to those investments. I haven't added, but across the other accounts I do have, I have added to those. So we'll see how things play out on Monday. Happy trading. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good luck out there. Cheers.